Admit defeat and I shall administer healing techniques.
Fuck you, Chuckles.
How dare you! Is that all you've got?
Welcome to another episode of Otaku Evolution. I'm your host, Mike, Penguin Truth, and today I'm looking at a favorite anime of mine, and probably the most recent one. It's got a name nobody can pronounce the same way twice. Baccano. Baccano. Baccano? Bababui? The show is based on a series of successful light novels by Ryogo Narita. The title means, roughly, din or ruckus in Italian. How successful are the novels? Well, there's been 21 of the damn things, so clearly they're selling. Unfortunately, the animated version only ran for 16 episodes, and basically only covered the first few volumes, and we haven't seen any animated since it finished. Instead, they gave fucking Durarara 2 seasons. 2! Never has a show with a headless biker chick and a vending machine throwing bodyguard been so boring! If Baccano means ruckus, Durarara must mean coma. But, that aside, let's focus on how great Baccano is. Baccano takes place mostly in America during the early 1930s, though it skips around a bit. It focuses on several groups of characters whose stories end up intertwined, but most of the action takes place aboard the Intercontinental Express train the Flying Pussyfoot, and involves bootleggers, terrorists, assassins, thieves, and immortals. There's some overlap. In fact, there's so much packed into the show, there are 2 characters whose job it is to actually make sense of it all.
He's main character-ish.
Ish?
Yeah, ish.
The 2 intersecting storylines are the train incident and the events that took place in New York City a year prior and a year following the train incident. In the first few episodes, it can be frankly taxing to keep up with what happened when, especially in the very first episode. But when you get the hang of it, the time skips feel natural and thematically sound. It does, in essence, spoil itself in some ways, but it's the ride that's the most important thing, not necessarily the conclusion. On the one hand, you have the story of crime families caught in the struggle between immortals and the obsession with one such being to create an elixir to make others like him, and a series of disasters and coincidences that reunite old enemies. On the other hand, you have a double train hijacking simultaneously by a crazy Chicago mob hitman and his crew, and a group of terrorists looking to free their imprisoned hero. And somehow it all tracks back to a group of alchemists aboard a ship in the 1700s summoning a demon. What's wrong? Difficult to keep up, huh? Well, that's nothing. You see, the group of alchemists are given an immortality potion that they drink, but the only people who know how to make it is the summoner Misa and his brother Greto. This evil guy Ziller devours or absorbs Greto, but he only has half the formula and has to make do with just half for 2 centuries. Eventually he has a guy working for him that is able to reconstruct the rest of the formula, but much of his lab is destroyed in a fire. When he tries to get out some of the finished product, it's stolen from him and passed around to various parties who think it's just bottles of booze. Zillard has his homunculus named Ennis track down where the bottles are, but instead she meets Firo, an up-and-comer capo in the Kimura, whose mentor is in fact Misa, unbeknownst to his protege and immortal. One of the Immortals, Huey, has been imprisoned by the government and his followers board the Flying Pussyfoot looking to hold it hostage until he's released. One of the group is Huey's mute daughter, Chana, an assassin who the rest of the group plans to kill once the job is done and then get Huey to give them the secrets of immortality. Also on board are a group of maniacs in white suits looking to kill as many people as possible and crash the train, but they start getting picked off along with the black suits by the fabled rail tracer while Jacuzzi Spot runs around panicked but determined to save as many as he can. And an immortal child named Chesla tries to way to flush out an immortal he knows must be on board as well. This all culminates with a couple of battles on top of the train, some explosions, and ultimately a government cover-up. And that, my friends, is barely skimming the surface. But I think what makes the convoluted narrative work is that the show has so many great, memorable characters. Characters like, say, Isaac and Miria. Isaac and Miria may be the heart of the show. A couple of eccentric thieves, Isaac and Miria march to the beat of their own drum, passing through almost every section of the storyline without making any real connections between them, and fairly oblivious to the underlying events. But they're cheerful, optimistic, and have their own strange brand of wisdom that makes them friends easily.
That monster is real bad. You'll both die.
Don't you worry. If things get ugly, I'll use my trusty 100 guns.
But you don't have any guns.
How about that? But you know what? A grizzled old ranch hand asked me once. Know where a real cowboy keeps his gun? His heart.
Try not to die, okay? Bye.
Well, I'm still not sure either of them is playing with the full deck.
There's about 1 billion Isaac and Miria clips I'd like to share with you, but this episode would be at least an hour long if I did. So moving on, let's get to other neat characters. Jacuzzi Splat comes to mind, and niece Hollystone, his girlfriend. Jacuzzi leads a small-time gang that has nevertheless made big waves in Chicago, where they've encroached on the Russo family's turf. He has the habit of being anxious and will apologize or cry at the drop of the hat, even if he isn't at fault. But he's actually a very brave and sometimes pretty dangerous guy. Niece must be the ancestor to Minnie May from Gunsmith Cats, because she's obsessed with explosives to the point of arousal, but has a pretty chaste romance with Jacuzzi. In fact, they kiss for the very first time during the train incident. They're backed by some pretty tough customers, and like Isaac and Miria, are good at making friends.
I like your style, kid. Feel free to use this warehouse whenever you like. It belongs to me. Bye now. I'll see you folks later. Maybe sometime when that confounded redhead isn't around.
So, is he a good guy or a bad guy? I can't tell.
Either way, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that our friends are safe.
You also have Firo and the Gandor brothers, who are compassionate criminals, but you don't want to mess with them. A low-level skell named Dallas Genuard runs afoul of the Gandor organization, looking to make a name for himself at first, but after obtaining an unfinished immortality potion, going for broke and attempting to just take them out. Any attempts by Dallas or the Runarada crime family to remove the Gandors from the equation are met with ugly reprisals. But Firo, for his part, does show kindness to the madman Zillard's homunculus, who he falls for.
Okay, my name is Firo. What's yours?
Ennis. Why ask? You must have already known my name.
Honestly, I just wanted to hear you say it to me.
It would be a real crime if I didn't mention my favorite character, however. Clad in white, just so blood would look great splashed onto him, the Chicago maniac named Lad Russo. He's as hyperactive as he is homicidal, a sadist who enjoys killing those who appear to feel safe and untouchable. He has an odd relationship with his masochist fiancée Lua, a soft-spoken dame who takes joy in the promise of him one day killing her. After everyone else, that is.
It's always been my dream to find those who love life and want to live in this world more than you do, and slaughter them one by one until there's just you, and then I would lovingly spend the rest of your life killing you so slowly.
But Lad, you could kill me right here and now. Why wait?
What are you talking about? That's absurd. This world is still overflowing with many, many people I have to kill first. But you already know that, doll. So killing you won't happen for a very long time. Until then, you stick with me and don't you dare die.
This character is such a blast to watch. He's so eccentric, and while being a horrible person, you kind of root for him the way you would root for a character played by Joe Pesci. A violent sociopath that nevertheless is entertaining to see chew the scenery. Not only is he my favorite character, but he's Narita's as well. But for everyone else's seems to be Claire. Claire Stanfield. Claire Stanfield. Is there any way to not spoil everything about this character by discussing the show? Claire Stanfield is just as charmingly offbeat and nearly as dangerously violent as LaRusso, but lives by more principles. Probably. An assassin by trade, he kills more people during the train incident than any other character, and while those people are largely terrorists and murderers, he goes about it in a disconcertingly merciless fashion, and is not above torture. What a marvelously crazy bastard, though. Just listen to his philosophy.
This world is completely mine, as if it came to me in an endless dream. My dream. The two of you are nothing more than ghosts in my head. You can't prove to me you exist outside my mind. I am the absolute center of this world, its creator. I have no idea what will happen to it if I die. I guess I don't have a good imagination. I've tried, but I can't imagine what it would be like if I were gone. What I'm saying is, it's impossible for this world to disappear completely. But if I die, everyone else but me would simply vanish. I would be all who remains in this world once I'm gone. You are all just part of a dream that I am having. That's why the world is mine. It's all inside my head.
Surf's up! This summer, catch the wave of Lucky Squid Studios and Fruitables coming to an anime convention near you! These bitchin' animal fruit hybrid plushies are hanging 10 as they ride in on Store Envy and Society 6. You'll find a summer fruit cup worth assembling with Orange Fox, Octo Cherry, Eggplantipus, and others, as well as t-shirts, art prints, and throw pillows. So grab a towel, a cooler, an umbrella, and Fruitables, and head down to the shore to soak up some rays. Fruitables by Lucky Squid Studios. Nutritious for your hug diet. Radical!
And that, my friends, is solipsism. Well, extended a bit. Anyway, Claire is cool, and I don't want to go too far in explaining him because I'll spoil all the surprises. You really should actually watch this series. Good luck finding it, though. You may have to resort to Isaac and Miria-like tactics. But now I have to ask a practical question. How is it that so many non-powered characters can easily run around on the roof of a train? You know, it's not as easy as it looks.
Oh my god, this is going to be awesome! Ow! The dust! It's like being shot in the eyes by a glitter gun!
What? I can use Archer clips! That guy doesn't own it! A fairly big part of the show involves a newspaper called the Daily Days, whose employees often act as information brokers. Those characters I mentioned first who are investigating how to frame this story, well, the man is the vice president of the Daily Days. The president himself is always obscured behind a mountain of papers, and the main shakers and movers are Nicholas and Elion, who get involved in the gang war and the missing Dallas. Although, there's also Rachel, who was aboard the Flying Pussyfoot trying to save people for her own reasons.
You're saying that in the end, she saved the passengers on the train out of some kind of love?
That is correct.
This is getting a little too much for my head.
So please, I'd like you to stop teasing her about her riding for free. Understood?
Sure, I'll try.
Give me as many tickets as this will buy.
But where to?
I don't care where. This is for everything up to now.
You know, most of the characters I've mentioned aren't the immortals. It just turns out that my favorite characters tend to be what TV tropes refers to as badass normal. Lad Russo, Jacuzzi Splot, Niece Hollystone, Claire Stanfield, the Daily Days crew. They may not heal up magically when they're injured like Chesla or Miza, but they've got guts. One of the best examples of this trait is Chane Laforet, the daughter of the immortal Huey Laforet. Huey has always seen the people of the world as being guinea pigs for his experiments. Even his own daughter was the subject to his whims. He passes on part of the secret to immortality to her, and she volunteers to have her own voice removed to ensure it's kept secret. Even knowing she's fallen in with terrorists hardly concerns him. While she remains fiercely protective of a man who, let's face it, hardly needs it, it's possible he's never even loved her. While not overtly cruel, Huey is rather detached and almost callous, as you might expect of a long-lived immortal being. Because of this, Chane is unsure how to handle the affection of others. Much like Zillard's homunculus Ennis, she is unaccustomed with somebody displaying warmth or sincere interest in her. She's always just been a tool to be used. It makes it even more bizarre for her when Claire, who's pretty strange himself, tries to romance her.
Poor thing. He's all you've got, isn't he? I bet he's the only family you've ever known, and you'll do whatever you have to do to protect him. Am I right? Well then, I have a perfect idea. All you have to do is agree to marry me, and then I'll be your father's son. As a member of the family, I'd be obligated to protect him just as much as you.
Oh yeah, and speaking of Chane and Claire, the two reunite after the train incident during a confrontation between Jacuzzi's gang and this guy named Graham Spector. He's an oddball hyperactive who admires and works for Lad Russo. After a comedy of errors, he discovers that the woman he's kidnapped isn't Eve Genuard after all, but Chane. But he enjoys a good rumble. In fact, that's how he met Lad in the first place. The two's craziness bounced off each other well, though Graham is plenty entertaining on his own.
Hey, boss, someone's coming out.
Yeah? I really hope this doesn't turn into a boring story. Nothing worse than that. Tedium is such a crime. It takes the limited amount of time that is given to man, and rather than spending it in indolence or drowning it in pleasure, it just sits there, sucking, eating it up. I can't put up with that. Tedium is a crime! Death to tedium! Ugh. Die, die, will you die, die now, die, you, die, me!
Oh, that's a good-looking doll.
Time spent in boredom is good. I think it's what allows the climaxes of life to reach their ultimate state of perfection. At least that's what I'm gonna choose to think of the way life has been laid out for us this fine day anyway.
Yet another non-immortal character that's really awesome. But you know, I guess some of those immortals are pretty cool. The secrets of immortality do provide a lot of impetus for the plot, setting the characters on their intersecting paths. But I feel maybe one of the flaws of this show is that it wants to say more about those immortals than it really has to say at the moment. Although that's likely because there are several other books that remain unadapted. I mean, there's parts of the show I haven't really touched upon as it is. Like Eve's idealized relationship with her brother Dallas, even though he's really a scumbag, or Zillard's tight control on Ennis and how he devalues her as a person, or Jacuzzi and Niece's backstory, or Isaac and Miria's quest to redeem their thievery with, more thievery. Or the government and the mafia both investigating the immortals. But there's still more to the world of Baccano yet unseen in animation. Firo and Isaac both imprisoned in Alcatraz with Lad, Firo being put in charge of a casino, Lad's reluctant friend Neater, the homunculus Christopher Shouldered who bodyguards Lad's niece, Claire's century-spanning badassery, the return of a supposedly devoured immortal, and a Mexican samurai. Also some stuff about Huey and Chane's mother. So yeah, there's a lot in the books. I'd like to see more of it adapted. But the show does, for the most part, stand on its own, and has plenty going on for itself. The care and detail put into this show to depict the time periods in a grounded manner, even when they're teeming with over-the-top, colorful characters, and the thematic gravitas that flows throughout the seemingly scattered narrative, makes this not only a total blast to see, but also rather affecting and emotionally resonant. Once you adjust yourself to the manner in which the story is told, it's hard to tear your eyes away from the show. And for that, and all else mentioned, it's one of my favorite anime of all time. And that's why I chose to review it for my birthday episode. 33 years on this pale blue dot in the expanding universe. I've spent most of it now as an anime fan, for better or worse. But today, at least, I can say that I'm happy I discovered this compelling subgenre. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a birthday gift to open. Pen gave me this. He told me to wait for him, but screw that. I hope it's anime. Oh, by the way, folks, you can gift me a contribution to my
That fucking boy! I'm going to...
Alright, my ice cream cake is gonna melt! Well, that's it for this episode. See ya! Oh, there's glitter in the cake! Damn it! I'm not getting him a thing for his birthday. When is his birthday? I should know that.
Stupid. What do you think you're gonna do, unarmed?
I've got a gun in my heart!
I ate too much cake. I even ate the glitter parts. I didn't say I wasn't gonna eat the rest.